Hi, everyone. I'm Dan Albers, and welcome to This Week in Anderson on the Big Eye Sportscast on USBN Sports. And joined with my co-host, as always, Steve Ellis. And Steve, I think we're on number 17. And it's a
Yes.
really cool moment for us is that we have our first father-daughter combo here. We had Brian Sullivan on here. Now we're going to have his daughter here on, Megan Sullivan. I'll tell you what, Steve, you talk about a career at Anderson High School. Megan had an unbelievable career at Anderson. We've known Megan and the Sullivans for a while, so it's pretty cool she's on here with us.
I'm really excited to talk to Megan about her time at Anderson and what she's doing now. But I'll tell you this, Dan, you touched on, her dad, Brian Sullivan, and, father-daughter combo. Her dad is in the Hall of Fame. And after we go through this interview and talk about his stats, you better believe this girl right here is going to be in the Hall of Fame as well.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. So joining us is Megan Sullivan, and Megan, you really had an unbelievable career. We're going to get into that a little bit later, but thanks for joining us tonight.
No problem. I'm excited to be here.
Let's talk about that. We'll just get into your years at Anderson High School. Talk a little bit about just your 4 years at Anderson. I'm sure it went by quick. I'm sure maybe not at the time it did, but just looking back at your career at Anderson, just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it flew by. I miss it all the time, but it's fun here at college too. I could not have had a better high school experience, I don't think. I mean, just Anderson as a whole was just an awesome place to be. There's no place like it. The support you have from the staff, the students, Mr. Newton, just everyone just is always there for you. It's amazing.
Well, you had to go through some adversity, like a lot of students that went through the school with you with the construction. I think you went through at least one or two principals. Talk a little bit about how all that experience was.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy definitely going in as a freshman, not really knowing what to expect. And you get there and like the floors were torn up, the ceilings were out. We didn't have air conditioning. We were like, oh my gosh, like what are we getting ourselves into? But then it turned out to be amazing. And it was cool to see like over the time, the process, because then we got paint on the walls, we got ceilings, we got floors. We even got air conditioning, which was a nice bonus.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool to see over time. It took all 4 years almost, but it was awesome.
That's cool.
You talk about the air conditioning, that cracks us up because I don't, Steve and I and your dad went to Anderson, and we didn't even think about it because we were tough back then. The air conditioning didn't really bother us back then.
Yeah, it was different walking in, and it was so hot every single day. We were just sweating. We'd have the windows cracked open. People would have like the little portable fans, just anything. The teacher, we would get popsicles like because it was so hot.
Wow.
We were all these sweating through our shirts. And then by the time we got air conditioning, actually, there was a time when it was like broken for a little, and it was so cold in the school that we had like cold days because we couldn't get it to fix, like go back down. So it was funny. We went from getting time off school because it was so hot, and then we got time off because it was so cold.
That is crazy.
Megan, we're gonna go through each of the sports that you played at Anderson, and as Danny mentioned, you had an unbelievable career at Anderson. I'm going to talk first about soccer, and then we'll get into basketball and track. And I just want to throw some stats out, and then you talk about your 4 years of playing soccer at Anderson. When you were there, you were a 4-year starter on the varsity. You were all-league your junior and senior years. You were all-city your junior and senior years. You were second-team all-state your senior year. And I know this stat because this is one of the ones I was most excited about. I'm sure that your senior year you led the city in assist, mainly from your corner kicks that you were kicking. But just a great career. Loved watching you play. Talk a little bit about your days playing soccer at Anderson.
It was so much fun. I just loved every single day going to practice or games. It was kind of special for us because my senior year we had 14 seniors, and we all grew up together. We played club together when we were young, and then we all played throughout Anderson. And so it was hard, like, leaving them because we had been playing together for so long, and it was so much fun. And then playing with my cousin Elena, that was special too. We always had so much fun together, and it was just super fun. And then Andy, I appreciate him a lot because he actually helped me get to NKU. I don't think I would be here without him. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate him and everything he's done for me.
But your senior year was so exciting watching you guys because you guys had such a great team. And as you said, 14 seniors. Not a whole lot of, high school sports in general have that many seniors, that continue to play on a varsity team. And it was so much fun to watch you guys play. I mean, how much confidence did you guys have when you guys played your senior year?
We had a lot of confidence. We were really excited to start because we had been working hard all summer, and we all had a set goal. We wanted to we all had a bunch of goals. We wanted to win the league and win Queen of the Hill and all that. And some of them we didn't meet, but it was still really exciting to work hard and have all of our work pay off.
Yep.
Yeah, then now you swing now into your multiple, obviously, sports star, and you go into basketball. You're starter for 3 years, and you were all league your senior year. Talk a little bit about. We were trying to figure out. Did you have? Was it Carletti? Was he your coach?
Phil Sheldon was my coach.
Okay, just talk a little bit about that playing a basketball. And again, 3-year starter. That's pretty impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, basketball was kind of different because my sophomore year we had 4 freshmen and we had 3 freshmen, a senior, and a sophomore starting, I think it was.
Oh.
And we won one single game. And so it was pretty rough, and we kept playing together. We became super close, and it was so much fun. But it was kind of like soccer, like all 3 years we had to keep pushing. And then our senior year, we actually did really well. I don't remember our record, but it was a lot better than the one game.
Yeah.
But then it goes back to the support system we had. I mean, Mr. Newton and the staff was at every single game cheering for us, even when we were down by 40 points. Still to play.
Yeah.
So hold on, Steve. I'm sorry. I just want to say something real quick. The thing that you've made on both sports that you've said so far is how you guys all got along, and the team stuck together and all that. And again, Steve and I know Chris Newton really well, and I think it's a reflection of the top, when you got an athletic director that supports everybody. And I think that's a reflection of you on each team that you've been on.
Well, thank you. But definitely the other girls too, Mr. Newton. I mean, it's great. It's hard to even understand how much support he brings to the table, to all the athletes, all the students at Anderson, even the staff.
Yeah.
So when you were playing basketball, if I remember correctly, watching you, that you were the known as the defensive stopper. You always guarded the other team's best player. Is that right?
Yeah, I was not very much help on the offensive side, so I tried to do what I could on the defensive side.
Well, how much fun was that, though? I mean, you don't get all the glory of the points and stuff like that, but if you're stopping the other team's best player and keeping them from their average, that means something too.
Yeah, it was so much fun. It was always so intense, and everyone would cheer really loud when something big happened. It was so fast-paced. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So then you move into your spring sports, and you don't miss a beat. I can remember the days, as soon as your last game of soccer was over, you went right into basketball, and as soon as basketball is over, you put your track shoes on and you're out on the track running, ready to go. So let's talk a little bit about track, because you had unbelievable career in track. 4 years on varsity in track, all league your sophomore, junior, and senior years, state qualifier your junior and senior years. Your junior year, you were in 4 events in the state meet and 3 events in your senior year. Came in 4th in the state in hurdles, in the 300 hurdles, I believe, your senior year. But the other cool thing is, and this is what Danny's jealous of, is that your name's up on the record board. You got the record for Anderson for the 300 hurdles and 2 different relays, the 4x2 and the 4x4, which is just, in the words of Danny, phenomenal.
Thank you. Yeah, track was interesting because I didn't run at Nagel or anything. I started freshman year.
Really?
My basketball coach told me, he was like, I think you should try track. And I was like, no, I did not enjoy running at all. And then the first day of practice came and I was like, might as well try it out. And then I ended up falling in love with it. And so I started running, freshman year and ran all the way through high school. And it was a totally different sport than soccer and basketball because it's like a team sport, but you're running by yourself. So it was really different. And the energy and the intense, it was just so much fun. And then going to state was unbelievable. It was such a cool experience. And then again, running with Elena was a lot of fun. We were on the same relay team. So that was really cool.
That's awesome. And then you go where you're at right now. You're at NKU. That an unbelievable thing right now is that the accomplishment that you got coming out of high school to get a Division I scholarship, but for not only just track, but for soccer. Not a lot of people can do that. So it's absolutely incredible that you're able to do that and continue your career at NKU.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a blast down here. I love it a lot. The coaches are so supportive with both sports, and just it's a lot like Anderson. They are all about their athletes.
Is that hard for you to like balance, I guess, working out and doing all that stuff?
Terribly hard. Because a lot of it's just being in shape and staying fit.
Right.
But again, the coaches are super supportive with me, and they care a lot about like our well-being and how we're feeling and stuff. So they really are, they don't mind like making sacrifices and stuff.
Well, that's good.
Meg, what was the big difference between high school soccer and playing all the way up in Division I soccer like you're playing now?
It's
Is
just
it speed or
intense. Yeah, like like everyone is just more amped up almost. Like everyone's stronger and faster, and it's just really intense. You have to be ready, or else you'll get blown past or something.
Yeah, it's the best of the best. So you got soccer and you got track there, and I know you got to do a little bit of track in the early months of the year during the winter, somewhat after soccer was over, before the whole COVID thing came into play. How was that? Because I know you got to go to at least one or two meets, and then when I want to talk to you and ask you about how you guys have been adjusting with COVID. But at least early on, how was that experience with the track?
It was a lot of fun. We had our indoor season through the winter, which was really different because I had never run indoor track, and the track is shorter, and so it was super weird to like be on and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun, and I was really excited for outdoor season, but we didn't make it. So
yeah. So Danny, I don't know if you know this, but here she is going from high school to Division I, playing soccer, and she starts there. And then help me out. It was incredible. And then help me out here, Megan, in that short period of time that you got to do some indoor meets. Did I hear right that you might have been on a team that might have broke a record already, or you broke a record?
Yeah, our 4x4 relay broke our school record.
That's incredible.
That's unbelievable. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That is very cool.
Man, yeah. That is really cool.
So then after March 13th, as everybody knows that date now, when COVID hit, talk about how that adjustment was for school and for track for you.
Well, we had practice. Well, we weren't sure because we were one of the last leagues to be like pushed back. So we were just sitting around waiting, kind of like, what's going to happen? And then they canceled, like they suspended our practices and stuff. So we had a couple weeks off, and so we're like, we don't know what to do. And then we were like, because the championships were still on for like the Horizon League at the end of the year. So we were like, should we keep practicing and all this stuff? And then it just all got canceled. So then we just got sent home, and he was like, well, we'll see what happens next year.
Yeah. How was that school-wise, though, for your classes?
It was definitely harder online because it was I was in anatomy, and we had to do labs online, which was super hard to see like everything on the screen. But we made it through. It's all good.
I was just getting ready to say, sorry to interrupt you. I don't even know what the heck anatomy or whatever I don't even know what the heck that is. So whatever it is, you did a good job.
You're right about that, Danny. So, all right. So let's get into your family here, Megan, because as Danny said, we know your parents really well, and I know your brother Alex goes to UC, which is incredible. Him being a UK fan.
Yeah.
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 But but anyway, your parents, so your dad, longtime soccer coach at Anderson, so feel like he's qualified, in the area of soccer, but yet your mom played at soccer at Xavier University. So coming from a couple good parents that have a good athletic background there.
Yes, it's nice because they can always give me pointers and stuff, but they're super supportive too with all my sports and athletics, because it was hard in high school sometimes when I have like winter club soccer and basketball or spring soccer and track, but they were always supportive with like whatever one I had to choose, if I had 2 games or whatever was going on.
Yeah.
Well, Megan, please tell me that the one thing that your dad did not influence you was to be a UK fan. Tell me you're not a UK fan too.
Only occasionally.
Oh, yeah, your dad. I tell you what, I'm probably a really bad UC fan. He's probably about just as bad as me because I catch him at the UC Claremont games every once in a while, checking out the phone every once in a while to get some scores of the UK game.
That is for sure.
Well, we're gonna try to get ready to wrap this up here, but we always try to end this thing with some things that are pretty cool. So, name some things that you remember that some memories, special memories that you have as growing up playing sports, as a little kid, and then also in high school, and then if you got maybe a favorite moment already in your young college career, if you could share that with everybody.
When I was little, I would always remember going, when my dad coached at Anderson, I would always remember going to like the team dinners with him and all the games on the field, and I thought it was so cool that I could go on the turf and no one else could. It was so much fun. And in high school, I don't know what my favorite memory was. It was all so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Well, that's good enough. I mean, just
Yeah.
your high school career, that's awesome.
Well, how about somebody from, Anderson or anywhere around that might have influenced you and kind of gave you some inspiration?
Definitely Mr. Newton. He has always been so supportive, and you can tell he cares for every single one of his athletes, and he wants the best for all of them. He's at every single sporting event. Sometimes he's rushing back and forth, and they're on opposite sides of like town, and he's just flying back. And you can always see him there. He's always got his Twitter going. He's just super supportive, and it's really helpful to the athletes. It makes them want to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Steve and I got to and your dad too. Graduated the same year, and Anderson, special place back in the olden days, and there's still a great place, and it makes a big difference when you have great people like Newt and Mr. Fellas and all the people there. It really makes a big difference.
For sure.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. It was a lot of fun, and I would have to say that I'm going to say that you're going to have more viewings than your father did. Is all I'm going to say. I don't think your dad didn't get. So I think you're gonna outdo him again. So.
Megan, real quick, what is the situation for soccer? Are you guys still on schedule or not?
We're supposed to start stuff next week, easing into it. We haven't done anything as a team yet. Our facility is closed for a little bit. So now we are going to start next week, but we're going to take it slow because he doesn't want to like rush everyone into it, which is good. Yeah.
All right, and you guys pretty much staying right there in your dorm? I mean, is it just kind of just doing online classes there? We're
supposed to stay. They like recommend we stay inside of our team bubble, so they don't want us like mingling with a bunch of different people. But yeah,
a good idea.
Well, we're gonna follow you, Megan. We wish you all the luck.
Thank you.
You might see a couple crazy guys there at one of your games screaming and yelling. So
okay.
We really appreciate you joining us. So we're gonna wrap this up. So for Steve Ellis, Megan Sullivan, and Dan Albers, you've been watching This Week in Anderson. We'll catch you next week.